Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good. Just wanted to pop on here and give you guys a quick little stream. Um, yeah, I know it's kind of a weird, a weird time to be doing this. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Hey, what's up, Darcy? Anna, what's happening? So yeah, I don't look for a whole lot of people to be here because I normally do not post at this time. I think you guys know that already. But we've had a couple different things here. Can somebody give me a 5 for 5 as I get moving real quick? I am going, hey, Cheryl, what's happening? Give me a 5 for 5, and I really want to get to this information. Let you guys see it. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so guys, we got hit with a geomagnetic storm that was unexpected. Why is that? Well, my guess is there was either a small eruption that we had a few days back that wasn't being able to be seen that well, aka like a stealth solar storm, or we could have connected to this to another coronal hole. It could have been a small one or what have you, because this, it didn't last very long. And let me show you, because it's right here, obviously. Guys, don't worry about this. This is just a data dropout, so I've had some questions about that. That's nothing more than that. We expect that to happen from time to time. Okay, those drops, believe me, guys, X-rays don't go all the way away. That's what this is showing you right here. Okay, we're always getting some form of X-ray. So just so you know that. But definitely, we've talked about that before also. But anyway, you see the geomagnetic activity here. We did get to a KP of 5, which means a G1 geomagnetic storm. Not much is coming from this, just so you guys understand that. But I do want to, well, I'm glad I could do that for you, Anna. But as you can see this, one of the biggest things you're going to notice on these unexpected solar storms that really don't get all that powerful typically when they're unexpected. The bigger ones we usually expect to see, right? We talk about that. But the Aurora definitely, some of the Aurora photographers, if they were on their game, they may have been looking. And why I say that is because you see how we went from a 1 on the KP all the way up to a 4? We jumped pretty significantly there. Aurora photographers watch this data all the time because they want to be there when the auroras are going to be happening, right? So if you look at NOAA's forecast here on the 3rd, nothing outside of a 3. Now, they were forecasting a 4. Now, if you look at this, it goes 3, 4, 3, 2. If you raise all those one number, what do you got? 4, 5, 3, 4, right? It's very similar to the same kind of cadence there. So whatever they were seeing here most likely ended up hitting us a little stronger. And that's why we got into the geomagnetic storm for a very short amount of time. But back to the Aurora. Where did I put that stupid tab at? Because I do want to show this to you, because so Aurora photographers, when they see that number start to move up, a lot of them will run right out because there's a chance that they might see some Aurora. And this, guys, Aurora photographers, they make their money off of making these, doing these captures. So they know what they're doing. This is their job, right? So you can see here, as I roll this over, this is the northern hemisphere. Okay, now we had a little spike there. That's probably where we got the 3 or the 4, right? To the 4 on the KP. And then it kind of died off a little bit, and then bam, right? So that's a little, I don't want to say bam, because it's not like a, oh my God type of thing. You're seeing an increased Aurora. So Alaska kind of seen some here, probably some really good ones. And it did creep, according to this model, down towards our border to Canada. So there's an outside chance, people in Montana, South Dakota, Washington State, Minnesota, those states there. I don't think Maine got into this action. Probably not. You see how it starts right there? The Maine's over this way. Even though the latitude line's the same as these, it matters when these things hit. You see how that never really gets even close to Maine? Because Maine's right there. And it's actually further north in latitude than these guys. So it really is positional in your perspective. Now, the southern hemisphere here, what do we got? Same kind of thing. Now, looking at this, you can definitely tell, again, that it's not really affecting, there's not a whole lot of people that are down here on the Antarctic. All right? I mean, and I'm not getting into that subject, guys. Okay? I'm not going there tonight. I know there's a huge subject around what's happening down there, and I'm not here to discuss that right now. So anyway, as we get through here, you can see that how it kind of increased at the same time the northern one did too. This here to give you kind of this is Australia, this would be South America, and this would be the tip of Africa. So that's what you're looking at as far as geographically on that model. Okay. So if we go back over here, again, there's the KP. It got to a 5, which is a G1 storm. Now, I want to show you guys this sunspot. Look at this thing. It's kind of nutty looking, isn't it? I mean, it's big. It's a big sunspot, but it's starting to rotate off much like the other one did. I think it was AR 3088, I believe, was the number of that one. I'm not sure this number. I'll tell you what, though, we can look just by going here. That would be this one is 3089. Okay, that's that bigger one over here. Then here's your numbers here. So 3093, 3092, 3094. This one up here looks to be sizable as it's starting to rotate towards us again. So we could be looking at some activity there. These over here look like they're pretty active too. They're not all that large, but they can grow, and really the size of them isn't really more what we're concerned with, other than the stability of them. Negative and positive next to each other, you're going to see some stuff, right? Now this is spaceweather.com's page. I'm not going to sit here and read his stuff to you. Please go check it out. Now I want to point something out. I used to show you guys this all the time, the ACE data. I now show you, where's the Discover data? This. It's essentially the same information, the same data, but this is way better to look at. It's easier to read, but you're getting the same data points. Okay, so this seems to be more in real time also. Notice what we see here. This is the BZ, our orientation of our magnetic field. When it's in a southerly orientation, stuff gets in easier. We look for -6 or bigger, and that's what you're seeing here multiple times within the last few hours. Okay, now I want to bring this to your attention. Let's just get rid of that real quick. So this geomagnetic storm that I'm talking about right now, this happened 6 to 8 hours ago, right? And you see how we're starting to creep back up? Why I bring that up, look what's going on here right now. This is solar wind. This is the speed, the velocity. It's spiking, and spiking significantly. Okay, 150 kilometers per second spike. Right? And the density dropped at the same time. And that's, a lot of times, that's what we expect to see. So I'm wondering if we haven't already, if we're not starting to see the first parts of that coronal hole stream we've been talking about. Okay? And some of you are probably asking me, what coronal hole stream? If you didn't watch my past videos, this. Okay? That is a significant coronal hole, guys. Yeah, it was a sizable one. So let me grab it right here, and I'll just drag it back here. You guys see that? Watch the disruption here. That was that canyon of fire type of thing I was talking in my short video that I did, I don't know, 12 hours ago or whatever. I did a YouTube short. I'm going to start doing more of those too, guys. So, listen. When I do those shorts, I'm going to be straight to the point, kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm trying not to squirrel, and I feel like I'm doing an okay job of that right now. But you're going to see the corona of the sun, the atmosphere of the sun, really get disturbed right here. Okay? There was a filament eruption, and I'll show you that here in just a second. And it does look like it produced a CME, and I showed that also in another short. Anybody out there making videos right now, if you're a smaller channel, please start doing your shorts. YouTube has changed their algorithm. From now on, when you post a short, YouTube will recommend some of your other videos no matter what the other algorithm parameters are set at. Okay? So if you're a smaller creator trying to build your channel, start posting shorts, because your other videos are going to get recommended right underneath the one they're looking at. And that's what you want. You want them to see your stuff, right? So start making some shorts, please. You'll help yourself, I promise. It will definitely help your channel grow. But anyway, watch right here. This is a big coronal hole, number 1. And I think we might have connected up here. You see this part up here? I think that might have been where that other geomagnetic storm came from. We connected. It might have even been before that. And again, I'm going to run that back, because this will take us back quite a bit. And even before this, right? You see how this one was there? Not too many people talked about this one. Everybody was talking about this. So I think this might have been what happened. And I could be wrong. We could have had a small solar storm, a stealth CME type of thing. But watch right here. You'll see the sun get disrupted. You see those lines, the energy going across those magnetic field lines? Like that. Okay? Now watch. Here we go. This thing will get disturbed. See that? So what happens here, and it keeps going. This is what was significant here. It almost did it twice. Okay? So you'll see the energy go, like flow all the way here, and it's enough of a disruption that it actually opens up the corona for a coronal hole for a small amount of time. Watch right here. See that? When that happens, what's happening there? You got more solar wind coming out. That's the surface of the sun. So, and this is the 211 angstrom from SDO, satellite right out in front of Earth, always watching the sun. Okay? So as we move here, you can see all that. It really is photogenic, even on the 211. So now let me take you and show you the 304, which is what I showed this in my short I did earlier. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what the heck was going on there. But again, you're going to be able to see a little bit better here. Okay, so watch right in here. You can even see this filament, guys. And even up here, you've got some solar rain happening. Watch right here just for a second. If I can do this right. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button. Anyway, I was pushing the wrong key there. Sorry about that. Daggone it. Sorry. See that? All that energy moving across those lines? That's solar rain. Now, so if we watch right here, you're going to see that eruption I was talking about. Back it up some. And the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see a little snaky-like filament lift off. See that little blast right there? Now watch this. Okay, now did you guys see that? Let me point it out what it does. It kind of shoots across here, the energy does, and it kind of does one of these numbers all up and around back to that big coronal hole. It's really, really interesting. Okay, so let me push this back a little bit more. Watch right here again. You'll see this stuff happen. There's that snake filament. I'm going backwards right now. Okay, so now I'm going to go forward. Now watch. There's some of the energy right there. See it walking this way? I'm going to back up again so you guys can see that. Watch right here where my cursor is. See that? You can see it literally shooting up to that other connection point inside that coronal hole. It's really interesting. It really is. And that's, again, some of this stuff left the sun, guys. There was a CME with this. Looks to be anyway. It might not have, but it does look, in my opinion, you see that snake lift off like that in that same general direction. And I showed you guys an eruption on seeds in one of my shorts this past few hours or day or whatever. So you guys can see that, right? That's definitely something to be looking at there. But yeah, so let me go back to that again. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. So I'll take you guys over here to seeds real quick, and I'll let you guys see that. Now, anytime you come over here and you see these things lit up, that means the thing detected something. So let's look at it. All right, this is that eruption. So let's go here just real quick, like, let's look at the time. It's 2:16. So if we go back over here to seeds, I haven't done this yet. So yeah, see the time? It matches up. You know, that's 4 hours after what I just showed you guys here on here, which makes sense because this is the surface and this is not. This is the occulter disk. This is the surface of the sun. So, and it is a substantial eruption. And it does that. The camera just got flooded with light, so please don't freak out about that. But as you can see here, it definitely erupted out. Okay? And we got a chance of this thing hitting us, is what I'm trying to tell you. And how do I know that? Well, let's back off here, and let's look at the full day run of that. So as it's moving, you'll be able to see it here. Hope everybody's having a good weekend, by the way. Start to it anyway. So see how that went ahead and finished on out. Let's see if we got anything from today. Yeah, it's still, that's that same CME. So now we'll go over here and look at stereo A because we need to. It's a side view. Let's take a look at it. And let's pause it because you're going to be able to see it too. And it's only going to be here just for a second. See that? Now remember, this is our side view, right? But it's not really the side view anymore. It's a partial side view. And I showed you guys that on the CME tracker over here on at NASA. This is the end little spiral. Now, here's Earth. Here's the sun. This is stereo A. That is the perspective we're looking at. When you're looking at this, you are looking from this satellite. Okay? So, and the spiral's even showing you that it's going to clip us. All right, it's what it looks like. Looks like it's going to clip us. It may or may not if the direction's off a little bit. It doesn't look to be all that impactful though. So, and then again, it's going to be about 3 or 4 days before that gets here. But yeah. So NASA says this thing has got a chance of partially impacting us. Just by this model here, you can see that. But remember, we were looking from here. Now, when we're looking from LASCO C2, this view, okay, we're actually looking from, let's see if that, let's back it up a day. Anyway, there's the big eruption there, right about, what the heck is this thing doing, man? All right, let's go, yeah, here's the second. Okay, sorry about that. Here we go, here we go. Come on, man. There it is. Okay, so when you're looking at this, you're basically looking from about right here. See where my cursor is? It's one of the Lagrange points are out there. I'm not going to get into that, but it's right there. Okay, roughly. So that's the perspective. I just wanted to show that to you, what we were actually looking at. Now, if you see my thumbnail, you've seen this. And I put that on there because I want to show people what's actually going on there. All right. First off, let me tell you this, that we have absolutely no way of knowing how far away from the satellite this thing is. Okay. We have no way of telling. So it actually, you know, we can't say how actually big it is because of that. If we could give it a specific location then we most certainly could at least give some sort of guess of how big this thing was. Now, I'm not making a big deal about this because it's not a big deal. It's really not. It's just interesting, right? That's why I put it in my thumbnail. You can see that I don't know that this was a charged particle, because it has a chance of being something like that also. But here on SDO, we see this off and on, but we don't usually typically get it to be this bright for that long. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards probably like a small meteorite. And it would probably be closer to the satellite than what it is to the sun. Okay? So if I take you back over here, satellite's sitting here, right? Basically. So the sun's way over here. So instead of the thing really being kind of like here, it's probably more so like back here. So it's just my opinion, but you know, judging by what I've seen before and what's happened and what we've seen before. Let me go back to ISFA here. So yeah. Hey Rampage, what's up, bud? I ain't seen you in a minute. Christine, what's happening? But yeah, so you got that going, just shooting across the field of view. That's all it's doing. It's shooting in front of the satellite. Again, I don't think this thing's next to the sun. If it was, the sun would have ate it up probably. And it's not. It doesn't have a typical trajectory that we would kind of see with sun diving comets and stuff. This thing is legitimately just shooting across the front. Okay. But so let's go up here, and I want to show you guys the most current sunspots. That's what you're going to see here. Now remember, I'm starting to explain things slowly to everybody now about the magnetism, the polarity of these sunspots. Before, I didn't really talk much about that because it does take a minute to kind of get people to understand. But what I realized was, unless I start talking about it, nobody's going to understand it that's listening to me. Right? So I'm at least going to give you a very, very basic what's going on and show you what's happening. This is showing you magnetism, and these are the spots, right? They consider this a sunspot grouping. That's why they only give that one number, right? You can clearly see, let's walk this back to here so we can see it better, right? You can clearly see that there are 2 negatives and 2 positives, right? So you would think that that's 2 sunspots. No, it's not. It's a sunspot grouping with the magnetisms here in the middle of it, right? But if you were to transport just these 2 points of magnetism, say I could cut and paste this thing and move it over here, then you would have 2 sunspots, because then you would have this, and this would be far enough away from it that they would consider that a separate sunspot. Okay? Yeah, it's not, guys, it's not grid down. Okay, guys? And I try to say at the beginning of my videos, but I kind of hope I can kind of quit saying that at some point. I promise you guys, anybody listening to me right now, if it's something like that and I'm able to get out here in time to give you guys some sort of a heads up, I will say that right at the beginning. That's going to be the conversation if something really bad is coming, right? So that's what I would say. So don't ever get fearful. It's not worth it. If you're afraid, don't watch. And I'm being dead serious here, guys. If any of this stuff like really puts you in a state of fear, don't watch it. It will definitely, you don't want to live life like that, guys. You just don't. What's the point? You don't want to live in fear. We're going to be aware, which that's why I'm talking to you guys. But we don't have to be fearful of what we see. Let things just, if you're a religious person, let God take it. If you're not, let whatever you use to give yourself some comfort there. Okay? But yeah, hey Stephanie, what's happening? My newest moderator, Stephanie Munoz. That's right. Or is it Munoz? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Munoz, maybe? Sorry. I don't mean to mispronounce your name. How about I just call you Stephanie? How about that? We'll call you Stephanie with the new wrench. All right? Hey, Hilly, what's up, brother? But anyway, guys, you got that happening right there. So let's look at the geoelectric. This is not geomagnetism, this is geoelectric. And what you're going to see, again, I've talked about this. They use this to try to start tying a gap together between space weather and earthquakes. So they're trying to get data and stuff and show that space weather affects earthquakes. And USGS, that's why that stamp's there. Okay? NOAA and USGS. So anyway, that's what they're doing with this model. But it's a really good indicator if we're getting hit geomagnetism also. So, because they both kind of come hand in hand, guys. They truly do. Not always, but typically, yes. So you can see how when we started, getting that unexpected storm, that's what you're seeing. Okay? And I want to point out, guys, like I said, I do think we're going to be into another storm here in the next, I don't know, 12 to 24 hours, I would say. Their forecast, well, yeah, see? Today's the, what is it? Today the 3rd? Yeah, today's the 3rd. So tomorrow, early on, like at around midnight UTC. Midnight UTC is roughly 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Okay? There's a 4-hour difference from East Coast to UTC. So, you can adjust that for your own time zones. But everything, most of the models here, guys, they all use UTC because they have to have a centralized time zone so they can, compare their data, and it helps everybody understand it better. So yeah. So anyway, they're saying a G2 here. That's why I said, hey, they're predicting it to be, or forecasting it to be stronger. There is a 30% chance of R1 to R2 flares for the next 3 days here, guys. What that means is that in R1, that's the beginning of an M flare. Okay. Now they're also saying R3 or greater is a 10% chance. So what they're saying here, guys, that's X flare. That's the beginning of X flare. Now what they're saying is they're seeing instability. When you see those things start to rise, they're seeing instability around these sunspots, and they're also basically they're saying that the energy's there to be able to produce those kinds of flares. Delta, gamma, and all beta, all that stuff. We're not going to get into those words because all it does is ends up being a bunch of word salad for people that don't like really dive into the deep of this. And I understand that most aren't, and I'm okay with that, right? So I try to give it to you guys kind of a simple way here. But that's what you're going to see. Basically, when you see those these numbers start to rise, that's what they're talking about. That's why they're saying that. Okay? The instability, the size, and also the magnetic signatures that's here, that comes into play too. So there's a lot going on there to give a forecast number, is what I'm trying to say. But those don't tend to get a little bit higher unless they're seeing stuff like this. Right? Now, look, if I take this and move it forward to the most current, this is current right now. This is where we're at as we speak. Okay? Notice up here. Remember the parallax effect I talk about. Things on a sphere are going to look bigger or smaller, when they're on the side, looking directly to the on the sphere. That's going to look smaller than what it actually is. So when this thing starts to rotate in, I think this one here is pretty sizable. I can already see negative and positive, and it looks like there's some positive hanging real close to this negative. So this thing could be starting to flare. Again, this doesn't look too impressive, but it could still flare. This one here is the one that really looks like it could flare, in my opinion. But I haven't seen a whole lot of that. Who is that? I mean, you got a wrench, but I don't recognize the name. I'm just a girl. What, did you change your name? I'm just a girl named Sharon. Oh, okay. Maybe if I'd have read a little bit further, right? I mean, come on. Tell me that. Say, wait, just read this a little bit further. Yeah, the incoming limb, Bradley. That's what you're seeing here. Now, and this is happening a lot. Third in line. That's who I thought you was. I wasn't going to just throw that out there. But thank you. We've been seeing this a lot. You get a bigger one kind of incoming, and they're kind of spaced out like this. Hey, Scott, what's up? But then you can see as this is coming on, this is rotating off. So that's actually kind of a good thing for us, because if we have two big spots that are unstable in front of us, the chances of us catching some stuff really takes a drastic uptick. Okay. So, but that's, there you go. Now, here's the magnetopause model, and actually, that's on the third there. Let's see. Let's take it back to the second. Let's watch it. Okay. This is our bow shock. This is the Australian model. Shout out to all my Aussie friends for sure. Hey Rose. This is the bow shock, and watch as this space weather starts to impact. This thing's gonna start bouncing around. It may even come in quite a bit. I haven't looked at it yet. I know the other magnetopause model is starting to react, and I'll show you that here in a minute. This is definitely reacting to something. See how it's starting to get bent a little bit? So if we go to the third, which is right now, see how that kind of bent down there on the side? That means we're getting hit. Right? And if you watch right here, this is the density. A minute ago, that was up to 20. That's significant. Okay? This is the speed. This is enough speed and enough density to put us into geomagnetic storm. Right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. So if we go over here to this model, this is NOAA's magnetopause model, magnetosphere model, I'm sorry. This is velocity here. This is the speed only, showing you nothing but the speed of the solar wind. Right? You're going to see different waves come in here. See how it's getting more active? Now, watch it when it hits. See what happens here? Stuff starts to flow out more on the backside. That is the exact reason why the density drops when we get higher speed solar wind. Okay? It's moving fast enough. It's like a flushing effect. It hits and it carries a lot of the particles on out, and then it shoots it out behind us. Okay? So that's why the density tends to drop when the speed is higher. And it makes sense. Now, sometimes they'll both rise at the same time, and you'll see that a lot with right before a CME hits, or in between two separate CMEs. You get a build up and all that, and that's really when we take big hits. This is density. Density only. Now, I'm going to pause it right there. Back in the day, not even back in the day, just a few weeks ago, I heard somebody saying the bow shock was down. Guys, the bow shock, and I've explained to you guys what the bow shock is. Right here, right? It's this line right here. It's the point where solar wind hits our magnetic field. What causes that? What causes the bow shock to be there? Two things have to be there for sure. Solar wind and our magnetic field. So, in order for the bow shock to go down, one of those has to go away. Okay? This is why I get this. I mean, this is one of my pet peeves. It really is. The bow shock is not gone. This is density. All this is showing you is that on one side of the bow shock and the other, the density is roughly the same. That's why you don't see a distinctive line out here. You see it up here because this is showing you speed, and the speed is different on both sides of the bow shock. That's why. Okay? So please understand that. And if somebody tells you the bow shock's down, just say to them what I just said to you, and ask them to explain, well, how can that be? Because if the solar wind was to go away, you know what that means? That means the sun isn't there anymore. Period. Even without coronal holes, guys, it's always sending plasma our way. Okay? Or our magnetic field has to go completely down. And if that happens, then you might as well, paint yourself green, because we're going to be living on Mars. That's what happened to Mars, basically. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of theories on what happened there, but it doesn't have a field like we do, right? So, let's look at the density here. Okay, now see, that's another great example. You see how it doesn't look like we have a bow shock? But watch. Now what's it look like? Now it does, doesn't it? So yeah, Just saying. Okay. That's density. Now, magnetic pressure. This is where it gets, where people start to look at this. And if people don't have the first time seeing this, this might make somebody scared because it looks, pretty mean and intense, right? It is. It's intense, but we see this all the time. So don't be afraid. This is magnetic pressure. So, and it's not like over the top intense either. I've seen it way, way more. So, but we definitely got an uptick in magnetic pressure. So there you have it. And again, I do want to mention this just for a second. I know that there's a lot of controversy around this subject. I'm not going to even get into the subject. I'm just simply pointing out that there is this article here over on spaceweather.com, and it's being reported everywhere. You guys can go look at YouTube channels doing this live as we speak. They had to scrub the launch the other day for the new rocket, right? Well, it's scheduled to try to go up again today. The window's back open on that. They had some problems with some, I believe it was some hydrogen cooling or something for the fuel cells. I can't remember exactly. I'm not, again, obviously, according to some of the comments I see from time to time, I can't even speak the English language, so how am I going to understand rocket science? It cracks me up every time, man. I'm sorry. Hey, Major, what's happening, bud? I missed you yesterday over on the lifeboat, man. We had a good show last night. Really did. We had somebody call in on our call-in show over on the lifeboat. If you guys don't know what that is, and I know most of you guys probably do, but the guy was from Pakistan, and he was sharing some stuff about opiate addiction. Listen, guys, this is this is a worldwide problem. But anyway, space weather. Go read these over here at spaceweather.com. We're gonna go live again, okay? Over I'll tell you what. Let's just do this. Let's do this. Let's go here. Check this out, guys. There's a lot of channels I want to shout out all the time. You guys know that, and I've been saying that quite a bit. But here's the lifeboat. This is the show we did last night. Nope, that ain't the show we did last night. This is actually the show that we did. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. We got a lot of views on that. And we've also had some subsequent views come in this direction from some of the other videos or live streams we've been making. We made a switch over here, guys. We are now doing the call-in show. So people like that, and we both knew that they would. Me and Tommy did. And it really does give an extra personal added value to anybody that's struggling with opiate addiction or addiction, alcoholism, all of that. I'm going to pause it right there. If you guys know anybody that needs help, if you yourself need help, it's a family over there. It really truly is. The same family here. A lot of you guys come over there. Thank you for trusting me and doing that. I really do appreciate it, because we are truly trying to help. I fought an opiate addiction for years. I've been sober for 11 years now. Have never relapsed. My family is the reason. Okay? That's just a little short and skinny of it. Now, statistically, that shouldn't happen. 80% of people that get clean relapse very shortly after they first get clean, or sober, whatever word you want to use there. So the chances of people staying that way on their first try is really, really small. But if you knew the love that my family has for me and the support that I have, nobody would even question it, because my family is the most awesome support system anybody can have. And this is kind of what drove me to me and Tommy kind of come together on this, because I want to help others that don't have that, have some similarity to that, and it helps me stay focused on my own sobriety. All right, so please come over here and check us out. We're growing daily now. People are calling in, and we got the call-in idea kind of like from just watching Marfugel, right? We seen the personal connection change when he went to a call-in show years ago, and we're just kind of applying that now, and it is definitely helping. So please come check us out. I'm going to just copy this link, put it in the chat. Go check it out. I shared some things about my own personal life over there, guys. I share a lot of my life over there. But, you know, I had a bout with suicide thoughts and all that stuff. It's been years ago. But I shared that story about what happened with me and I share my addiction, my continued recovery. So that's where it's at. So, but anyway, guys, that's what happens over there. Please come check us out. Again, here is the link, and check out Mark Fugel, check out Mark Pires, check out Rip Curl Readiness at the range. Hilly's probably doing a Bible study here in a few hours. Go check him out. Anybody else has got channels, if I'm forgetting people, I apologize, but I can't say everybody every video. Anybody here from Pastor Bagley's channel, go check them out too, guys. Please go check out Scott over at Planet X News. I don't think he's making videos right now, but he came back for a while, and I'm sure he'll be back doing his thing. And you know, and Matthew Shipley, go check him out. Awesome channel. You know, just 4K imaging of the sun and all the space weather stuff. So freaking intelligent. But please come check out all those. And Johnny Scoville, I don't drop his name a whole lot, and I should. He is a pepper legend, and he's going through some stuff with his health and stuff in his own life right now. So go check out Chase the Heat. Okay, go show him some Wages World love. You know, please. You guys won't be you won't be sorry. The man is a legend in the pepper community, and I'm telling you, the stuff that he's done is amazing. Eating those hot, I couldn't do it. But anyway, go check that out too. Now, and again, guys, anything else happens, I will be back on here giving you guys an update. And I promise, if you know anything big happens, I'll get on here as quick as I can. But again, we're going to be going live over on the Lifeboat at 8 o'clock tonight Eastern. So come check us out, even if you're just going to watch, or if you want to chime in. We're going to be talking about, check this title out, guys. And this is the truth. We're asking the question, where did all the heroin go? And that's a real statement. That is not clickbait. That is a real thing that's happening. Where did all the heroin go? Where did it go? And, you know, there's reasons for it, and we're going to talk about it over there. So come give us your opinion. Come check us out, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves. And, yeah, you could drink this Kool-Aid.